14, Brady Swords, aka Chris McStay. On the bench, number 8, Jerry Statatis. 16, Michael Majeski. Reserve keeper number 20, Ronan Mulgrew. Number 23, Olin Huffler. 46, Paul Kalabokis. And number 99, Matthew Carolessi, coached by Paul B. Now to your Demons, Blacktown City lineup, like this today. In goals, number 1, Dave Henderson. Number 4, Lockie Campbell. Number 5, Grant Leach. 7, Major, Travis Major, skipper today. Number 8, Jack O'Brien. Number 10, Maxim Jez. Number 22, Daniel McHugh.
The end of the season draws near with the title race as close as it's ever been. Every point counts. Welcome to Ilinden Stadium on a sunny Sunday afternoon in Sydney's West for a highly anticipated hit-out between two competition heavyweights. The league leaders Rockdale Ilinden travel west to try and cement their position at the top for another week with a close eye on games elsewhere and the teams behind them. Meanwhile, Blacktown City have hit form in recent weeks, looking to make it 3 wins in a row in a game which they'll try and use, knowing that these two teams could potentially play once more if the final seeding falls that way. As fifth place Blacktown City, they host top of the table Rockdale Ilinden live on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Will Constantinides here with you at Ilinden Stadium in Seven Hills, and you'd be forgiven for thinking it's round 2 and not round 22 with how good the weather has turned out here. Blue sky treats us for a game between two good teams. So let's take you straight through the team news, starting first with Mark Crittenden's Blacktown City. They come off a solid performance at Cogra against Sydney Olympic, a thorough 2-0 victory in which they were the better team across the 90. They'll know they'll have their hands full this afternoon. In goal is number 1, Caden Henderson. Number 4 at the back, Lockie Campbell is joined by 5, Grant Lynch. 7 is Travis Major, the captain. 8 is Jack O'Brien. 10 is Maxim Yej. 12 is Daniel McHugh, making his second consecutive start after making his debut last week. Starting debut, that is. Mitchell Malia starts as well, as does Nick O'Brien, Seb Hayward, and the goal scorer from last week, and a well-taken volley by number 23, Jacob Kresnar. As for Rockdale Ilinden, well, a surprise loss that no one would have seen coming last time out at the hands of the Sutherland Sharks. And that has reopened the title race again after Ilinden were initially a little bit clear, but that loss combined with Marconi winning last week means it's back all to play for again. So makes for a very interesting title race. And just a couple of interesting changes from Rockdale Ilinden. In goal is number 1, Nick Soros. 2 is Hunter Elliott. 4 is James Nikolovsky. 5 is Giorgio Speranza. 6 is Isaac Dunzo. 7 is Alec Urashevsky, the captain. Number 9 is Moody Najjar. 10, Brendan Chalakian. 11, Lockie Constable. 14, who returns in the centre-back pairing, is Braden Sorge. And number 88 is Chris McStay. As we're underway here. Moody Najjar looking to get going quickly. The other point of note is that Jerry Skatardis is on the bench for Rockdale Ilinden. Could make his first appearance for them this season after spending the rest of the campaign with the Sutherland Sharks. Finds himself out of the bottom 4 and straight into a title race. Meanwhile, Jack O'Brien was here to cause problems, and he's been taken by there as Malia thought about letting go, and it's concerning signs here for Jack O'Brien as Nick Soros came out. A bit of chaos early. It was cleared right off the face of Jack O'Brien, and Mitch Malia for a second had thought about having a shot from distance. And now this is a cause for concern. Jack O'Brien is on the ground and is going to need immediate medical attention. Also of note for the subs on the bench is that Ruben Awaratifi has rejoined Blacktown. He's been at the club for a couple of weeks now after coming across from the Sutherland Sharks as well, but it's his first time getting on the first grade team sheet for Blacktown City this season. No stranger to these parts as Jack O'Brien is a little wobbly getting back to his feet. We'll see if he's going to be alright to continue. And I think, yeah, he's going to need to be subbed potentially. He's really in some way Jack O'Brien. He's going to jog off, and we'll have a bit of a chat with Mark Crittenden about how he'll go about continuing. And I think I've just seen a bit of a shake of the head from Mark Crittenden. Jack O'Brien wants to get back on, and he's motioning to walk back onto the pitch, but Mark Crittenden and our fourth official on the sideline are having a bit of a chat about whether he'll be alright to go. And it looks like he will get back on, so Jack O'Brien will head back into the fray. No doubt the medical staff are going to be keeping keen eyes on him. Meanwhile, Rockdale have pinched the ball. Here is Urashevsky. Flicked back in towards as Lynch just calmly nods that down. Constable out on that far wing. He's got back out to the width in recent times. Of course, he's been played as a midfielder a decent amount through his stint at Rockdale, but he can play in both positions. Meanwhile, Elliott looking to link up with Chalaki, and those two do on that far side as Elliott cutting it back, well taken off him by Hayward, and now Blacktown City can look to get going with Travis Major. A little bit isolated up top, waits for support to arrive. Now he uses his pace and has smartly drawn a foul from Chris McStay there, has Travis Major. So Blacktown City will have an opportunity from an early set piece, maybe look to lob one up as Lynch makes his way forward, as does Lockie Campbell. Delivery from Nick O'Brien is a bit long and easily taken by Saurus. Of course, the sun is against Rockdale for the time being. That's why Saurus has that hat on. Speranza looking for Moody Najjar. Now here's Yej, and Jack O'Brien looking to slice the ball up towards Mitch Malia. Was well read by James Nikolovsky. Speranza into the feet of Najjar. Chalaki looked to turn, but Yej is there to take the scraps. Nick O'Brien looking for a searching ball out to Kresner, who had a lot of success last week, Jacob Kresner. Not just on the score sheet, but he was getting forward early and often. The game that Blacktown City were playing last week against Olympic will probably be of a very different nature to this one. They gave Olympic plenty of the ball and allowed them to have it, and asked the question as to whether they were going to break them down. Olympic had a couple of chances but were ultimately unable to do so. And Blacktown were clinical on the attacking end. Meanwhile, for Rockdale, it was almost an opposite story. They did have chances against Sutherland, but when you concede 2 goals, it's always going to be difficult to make it up, especially with some of the reinforcements that Sutherland have brought in recent weeks. Najjar has been involved early. Him and Speranza looking to get things going. They can't on this occasion as Jack O'Brien turns through traffic and on his side a free kick, and they will just get some numbers forward as McHugh has spotted Grant Lynch, who can take the ball forward. Yurashevsky will hound him down. Driven down to Kresnar, cutting back inside, whipped ball in up towards Mitch Malia, and him and Jack O'Brien were in two different minds there as to how they were going to attack that ball. Malia wanting O'Brien to make that overlapping run towards the back post. Of course, this is one of 2 games going on right now. You've got the original Sydney derby between Marconi and Sydney United 58. We'll keep you updated on scores because that affects both these teams actually. Sydney United in 6th, right behind Blacktown City, and then Marconi, of course, and Rockdale in that title battle right now as ball is shifted, intended for Chalaki, and Dunzo was bursting through. Foul will break up that attack. And last time they met back in March, it was a comprehensive victory for Rockdale Ilinden. 3-0 to them, 2 goals to Alec Yurashevsky, and 1 from Blake Rashuda. It was basically wrapped up at half-time. 3 goals all in the first half. That was earlier in the season when Blacktown were struggling a little bit defensively. They've helped fix some of those issues. Meanwhile, at the back post, Yurashevsky was looking to connect and he couldn't do it. Meanwhile, Chalaki will have a pop from distance, headed away by Campbell, but Constable almost ghosted in, unmarked. And Yurashevsky, I think it was just a touch behind him. He couldn't quite wrap his foot around it. Constable Now here is McStay. Cleared away. Blacktown will have to dig in for these next couple of minutes. They've been put under a bit of early pressure by Ilinden. Speranza takes the space given to him. He's looking for Najjar to make that run, and he does. Moody Najjar, numbers getting into the area, but he made his run too early. And that move comes to an end. Referee out in the middle today, Eric Saba, joined by Lance Greenshields and Johan Pinto, our assistants. Henderson. Ball is allowed to bounce. It will flick up by Speranza. Major and McStay were dueling in the air. Falls to the feet of Lynch, who Henderson had to clear. Yurachevsky's been lively on the press to start. O'Brien had to flick it around the corner to keep it in, but it's only to the benefit of Rockdale as Dunzo can find Sorge. Sorge and Rashudo have been, in recent times, the preferred centre-back pairing. Both of those were out last week. Rashudo still out for a little while. And Sorge has come in to replace Matt Karamaleski. They've certainly got good defensive stocks, Rockdale Ilinden, to have someone like Karamaleski on the bench and Nikolovsky available as well to step in place of Rashudo. McStay, good feet in midfield. And was looking for that ball again there. Looking between this back three of Ilinden to try and play between Campbell and O'Brien. And with the pace of Moody Najjar, that's going to be a constant threat. Blacktown have set deep, and that worked well against Olympic last week. And Olympic, like Rockdale, have a fast front three. Ilinden are especially dangerous when the game speed picks up and players like Yurachevsky and Najjar can exploit spaces, and it opens up the creativity of Chalakian. Here is McHugh, who has a lot of room out on this near side. Najjar had committed to the challenge and got enough of the ball, and now Yurachevsky can get going. Yurachevsky, early ball, looking for Constable. It just wouldn't sit right for him, though. And Blacktown are pleading that there was a foul on Daniel McHugh. It was a strong challenge, certainly, but seemed fair, as meanwhile O'Brien is back down on the ground, and I think he's just shaking his head again, and I think this might get a bit of interest from the Blacktown City bench. He's gone down for the second time in 10 minutes here, Jack O'Brien, and I wonder how much longer his afternoon will last. And it looks like it's not going to last very long. Danny Choi is being prepared. So more than a quality sub available, and that sub will go through now. So Danny Choi enters for what will be his 12th appearance from the bench this season, to go with his 12 starts. And Jack O'Brien, after scoring last week, is just feeling the knock-on effects of that Nick Saurus clearance. And so fan favourite Danny Choi is out there. And I think he'll go out to the wing, which will put Travis Major into the top of the attack. And a tough one for Jack O'Brien to have his afternoon ended early. He's scored in their last two games against St. George City and Sydney Olympic, so I'll miss his 10 goals this season out there for sure, but Danny Choi has more than enough output to make things happen, that's for sure. Choi's first involvement is to press Sorge. Nick O'Brien says that's enough of that and sends it back away as Nikolovsky hooked out to McStay. Now here is Choi. Kresnar and Yej with Choi. Broken down, and Dunzo gets the call to turn, and they can find their way out this left-hand side. Nikolovsky drives into the space ahead of him and with Speranza. Nikolovsky. Chalakian. Najar is there. This time they go to feet. Moody Najar is flanked by Speranza. Cries of handball, and referee Eric Saber obliges. And Lockie Campbell is feeling as if his hands were close enough to his body, but this is going to be a dangerous position here for Rockdale Ilinden. Have scored from their fair share of set pieces this season. They've got some good targets to aim for. And one of them isn't there today. Blake Rashudo has popped up on a couple of occasions from corners. And Chris McStay's delivery has been pinpoint this season. There have been times where he's looked so dangerous, and he can think about potentially having a shot here. No doubt this will be heading towards the back post where the numbers are. McStay in swinging right-footed delivery and just overcooked it a little bit. It was closer than he perhaps realised there, Chris McStay. These teams split their matchup last season and win a piece. Last time they played here, it was Rockdale Ilinden walking away with a 2-1 win. 2 penalties to Halek Yurashevsky on that day. Travis Major with a penalty himself. All 3 goals were penalties last time they played here at Landon Stadium. McStay twists and turns and gets to the byline. McHugh went in strongly. And Rockdale feel that McHugh got a touch, but last touch is ruled to be off Chris McStay. They've played some fiery battles over the years, these two teams. There was a game where Blacktown City had 2 red cards a couple of seasons ago, and then a season before that they had 2 red cards again. Chalakian is impeded in the back by Campbell, and Chalakian smartly tried to go quickly, but the ball was still in motion, and Travis Major recognising that he wants to go quickly, and that veteran presence to just stand in front of the ball, slow things down. As Hayward holds up McStay temporarily, but Ilinden are liking this left-hand side. McHugh goes back to Henderson, who takes no chances, and there's no one up the top for Blacktown City. Travis Major has had to sit in a little bit. Him and Mitch Marlier and Danny Choi have been pinned back by the constant pressure that Rockdale Ilinden have put on them. McStay has been buzzing around the pitch, so lively to start this game. He's gone from left to right, given a lot of freedom by Paul D as Sorge keeps it down this end of the pitch. There's no one ahead for Blacktown right now. They've been held back very well by Ilinden as McHugh. Again, another strong challenge by him, but it's going to be a Rockdale Ilinden throw. The young 18-year-old holding his place. And he did well against some experienced attackers last week. Kept Adam Parkhouse at bay. His former A-League man Moody Najar to contend with. Big assignment for the 18-year-old. Yurashevsky, long throw is in, and it almost flicked up. But it was popped up nice and slow for Henderson to hold that. It's been something we've seen recently, the Alek Yurashevsky long throw. It's something you wouldn't necessarily expect the league's leading goal scorer to be doing. You'd be expecting him to be in the box, but he's Been adding that to the game this campaign. And from the looks of some of his deliveries, it's certainly something they can go towards. Hunter Elliott. Now Dunzo. Speranza. This is good possession from Rockdale Ilinden. They've been dictating play to start. Nick Soros hasn't really had to make a save at all. Conversely, Henderson has had to stay alert. Chalakian looking to get in behind Campbell as Najar will make a play for it as well. But Chalakian was offside, made his move slightly too early. Henderson looking for Major up there. Blacktown struggled to find their rhythm to start. It's something that they're not too unfamiliar with. Rockdale are the league leaders. There's plenty of danger about this team. There's Yurashevsky looking to press Lynch. McHugh will have the ball played out to him. Najar will try and play off the bounces. It just wouldn't sit for McHugh, and Blacktown turnover possession. McStay. Mikulovsky does well to spot Elliott in space. And Blacktown had overcommitted to this side, which means Elliott has plenty of room to charge forward into. Dunzo. Chalakian has been busy. Him and McStay have been integral to the Rockdale midfield in recent weeks, and no surprise in a game like this where they hold most of the ball that those two are the busiest men on the pitch. McStay's second stint in Rockdale after coming across from Wollongong Wolves in the off-season has been a very successful stint. Player of immense quality and experience. Major. Speaking of quality and experience, Travis Major, what a role he has played. He's played almost every position on the pitch. True captain is Danny Choi looking for an early pass. Nikolovsky's able to head it clear. McHugh is in a foot race with Najar to get there, and the youngster wins, and advantage is played. Malia. Early ball intended for Choi. McStay is back there to clear. Yej has a pop. And first shot of the game for Blacktown City. Maxim Yej with a speculative effort from distance. It was seen all the way by Soros. Speranza. Najar. Advantage played. It's been a physical start to proceedings here at Landon Stadium as Chalakian will get a second go, and it loops it up for Alec Yurashevsky, bringing it down and turning. And he just couldn't catch a way through with Blacktown bodies all over him. Constable holding play up. Elliott makes a move forward. Elliott has stayed on side. A good pass as it's rifled towards the back post, but it's over all, including Moody Najar. Has to watch that go over his head. Over 20 minutes gone here, still no score, but it's been Rockdale Ilinden, perhaps as you'd expect, having more of the ball, looking more dangerous, but Blacktown can strike as Choi knew that Malia was up there, but it was always going to be difficult to find him in those circumstances. Sorge. Nikolovsky. Nikolovsky takes a step forward. Goes in towards Yurashevsky, who makes a play, and Henderson had to be careful there. He didn't go in too late. It was a fair contest for the ball between both. And Rockdale continue to turn the screws right now. There's a good ball in initially from Najjar, and that's why Alec Yurashevsky is so dangerous. Just when you think he's out of the play, he can make a quick darting run forward, and with his finishing ability, always difficult to keep him away from danger. Henderson did enough to shut down that particular angle. Henderson, at just 20 years of age, has made the starting spot his own this season. Has put in some good performances, replacing Tristan Prendergast, big shoes to fill. But he's done it with distinction this campaign, and Blacktown's history of bringing through good young goalkeepers is well known. Just take a look at the number one for the Socceroos at the moment, Matty Ryan. Elliott and Constable, they've looked to exchange passes a few times now to mixed results. Jacob Kresnar, Daniel McHugh have been very busy on the flanks. Major had thought about going quickly, but just let it go out, recognising that his team perhaps need a bit of a breather and a bit of time to get their foot on the ball. It's something they haven't done much through the first 25 minutes here. Rockdale have done a good job at disrupting them. Lynch didn't like what he saw on the right-hand side, so he keeps it on the left with Kresnar, who was making his way through the middle. And now Alec Yurashevsky might be in this with the bounce as he tries to play off it with Campbell, but he took a gamble on hoping Campbell would look back towards his keeper. Instead, he used Lynch right next to him. Here is Grant Lynch. Getting forward. Choi. Speranza. Moody Najjar, this is where he can be dangerous. This time it's an early delivery. It takes a deflection on its way through. And it wouldn't quite fizz back to Henderson. That means it'll be a corner. First of the game for Ilinden. And it'll be Chris McStay over there to deliver that in-swinging right-footed delivery. He had one just a moment ago from a free kick. Overhit that one, but it's this one with a similar sort of power. It's going to be very difficult for Henderson to deal with. And Henderson has two men immediately in front of him. Chalakian and Constable are right there. Here goes McStay with the delivery. This time it's floated towards the back post. Moody Najjar goes up and couldn't quite keep it. Goldwood was looking to glance it towards the far post. But the signs are certainly there for Rockdale, it must be said. This attack is creating plenty of chances so far. Henderson goes long. McHugh will try and keep this in, and he has. Blacktown wanted the foul, feeling that McHugh was impeded. Meanwhile, Yurashevsky is going to go quickly. Campbell. Blacktown have to play quickly with the press coming as O'Brien. Pass was undercooked, which invited Dunzo. And Rockdale have quick feet to try and find their way out, but Giorgio Speranza perhaps thought he had more room than he did. And inadvertently walked over the sideline. McHugh. Nikolovsky. Hayward ping-pongs it back towards Sorge. Sorge is looking up as Dunzo is there, and now Blacktown will try and press themselves here. Chalakian is caught. Rockdale, you can see what the intent is from Rockdale. They want to play quickly. They don't want things to slow down. They know that if Blacktown gets set in their defensive shape, they're really hard to break down. They would have seen that last week with Olympic, who, when they did play quickly, did look better, but just couldn't do so enough to good effect as Chalakian and Yeja in a battle. Chalakian felt that his shirt was pulled. There was definitely a bit of back and forth between them. Not enough contact to warrant a foul. Elliott. Dunzo. McStay. Low driven cross, can't beat the first defender, and now Blacktown find themselves in this familiar position of winning the ball back, but trying to play forward, and Hayward using the more direct option out to Mitch Marley, who has pace to get of Hunter Elliott, and now he goes forward. Mitch Marley to the byline, looking for the cutback. Major is there and cleared. Elliott will take no chances. He got back there quickly, but that's much better from Blacktown City. That's where they can be so good. Mitch Marley still has that quick step about him. It started with a delightful pass from Seb Hayward, it must be said. And from there, Mitch Marley recognised he had the space to run into, knew there was only one man in the box, and that was Travis Major, who contorted his body very acrobatically to wrap his head around the ball and look for the back post. And meanwhile, Yurashevsky's going to charge forward. Henderson is there again to play sweeper keeper. It's been a game played at a very fast pace. Meanwhile, there's been a goal out at Marconi Stadium. Marko Jesic on 23 minutes has given the Marconi Stallions the lead. Which means on the live ladder, Rockdale Ilinden would be overtaken by Marconi. Henderson is there. He's played a good game so far, young Caden Henderson. Now they look to press. Kresnar is out off Yurashevsky. Spirits win yesterday as well. They're also on 46 points. So coming into today's games, there were 3 teams on 46, 1 team on 45, which is Apia. Both Apia and Spirit played already yesterday, which is why the table was so bunched. But on the live ladder, it would be Marconi Stallions 49, Rockdale Ilinden 47. Of course, Ilinden have the better goal difference, so if they do win here today, they'll be top. But both those teams are level on points with Spirit 3 behind. Najar. McHugh recognised he was in a compromised position, recognised that he had to get there ahead of Najar. Here is Chalakian. Tries to get his way through defenders and does, and he's won himself a foul here. Right on the edge of the area too. I think there was an outstretched leg from one of either McHugh or Yej. And so McStay, very similar position to where he found himself earlier. You can really think about putting a shot on goal here, Chris McStay. This is the type of position that is so difficult for keepers. Here goes McStay. 2 in the wall for Henderson. Floated, back stick it goes. Sorge was the intended target. Constable puts it back in himself for Nikolovsky. Had a decent look at that header too, did James Nikolovsky, but he couldn't keep it under the bar. Another chance falls the way of Ilinden. And Blacktown are able to survive again. Major. Important flick on to win. Saw it up to Choi. Was able to beat Sorge to the ball as a foul. Malia was taken down, and these sorts of opportunities are so valuable for Blacktown City. O'Brien, the man tasked with putting this one in. Lynch has gone up there, as has Campbell. O'Brien, a deep delivery. Major puts it back into the mixer. Speranza will have to clear. Falls to Kresnar. Hayward got the shout from O'Brien that he was free. O'Brien is stood up by Chalaki. That's good defending by the Ilinden number 10. And Speranza has drawn his side a handy foul after he was about to be backed into the corner. And Paul D was frustrated with Nikolovsky and Speranza for not going quicker. On that free kick, he felt that they could have gone short and played out there, did Paul D. Instead, they're forced to go long. Saurus launches this one up. McStay and Yej. That time it's Yej who wins. Major on the knockdown. Sorge plays between to Speranza. Chalakian is held up momentarily by Seb Hayward. Nikolovsky. Speranza. Dunzo. Rockdale wanted a foul right in front of them. Instead, they've got the ball in a good position with Elliott tucking inside. Yurashevsky, first time cross, is deflected and held up. Still Alec Yurashevsky dancing along the sideline before it's taken off his toes, and Danny Choi has all the work to do out of his own half. And there was no need for that foul from Isaac Dunzo. Not only was Choi not really going anywhere with only Major ahead of him, but there were plenty of other Ilinden defenders there to stop him, and now he's earned himself a booking. Lynch. Great pass down the line for Jacob Kresnar, looking for that early cross again. It's fallen to Danny Choi on the box, who lines up from range. But it was seen all the way by Saurus, and it was seen wide. So 10 more minutes to go before halftime. Here is Nikolovsky. Sorge. Looking for that pass between the lines. Playing good simple football. Ilinden recognising that they have space to work with. Dunzo. Here is Constable. Drifting inside. Looking for that killer pass to Chalaki, and it's picked off though. And Travis Major is furious with how things are going right now. It's been a frustrating first half of Blacktown City. Yes, they've been content to defend, but they haven't been generating as much down the other end as they did last week against Sydney Olympic. And it's all good to defend and keep the opposition shut out, but they need chances to get their attack going as Danny, that's a beautiful pass by Danny Choi out to Mitch Malia, all of 50 yards over the top. And now Malia can look to go. Malia stands it up for Major. Those two link up as Malia, drifting inwards, goes down and is told to get back up. And Blacktown are furious again, feeling that Malia's shirt was grabbed. There was certainly a little bit of contact. It's a question of whether it was enough to warrant a whistle. Meanwhile, Blacktown have to worry about defending as Yurashevsky looks to muscle his way past Campbell, but did so illegally. And now it's Rockdale's turn to be furious with how things are going, but for a second, Blacktown City were looking very dangerous, and I think just having a brief look on the replay, Mitch Malia did cut inwards. There was an outstretched arm from Speranza, and now Mike Crittenden has pulled out the iPad and is showing it to Lance Greenshields on the sideline. It's the beauty of the NPL, all these games streamed, and I don't know if the referees will take too kindly to being shown the replay like that. But it's really started to heat up here at Landon Stadium. And McHugh is being told to take a couple of steps back. And Blacktown are furious with the fourth official now, feeling that he was standing in front of Daniel McHugh. It's all happening on the sideline here at Landon Stadium. Apologies if we went quiet just for a second. I was trying to hear what was being said, but I think I probably can't repeat what was being said on the broadcast. It's the beauty of the scaffold here at Landon Stadium, so close to the benches. Meanwhile, Blacktown have pinched it in a good position, and Danny Choi can look to burst forward. Travis Major is getting into the area. Sorge, his headed clearance is up into the sky. It'll come back down with Dunzo. Here is Mitch Malia, cleared away by Nikolovsky. And I think that might have been destined for goal from Malia, and Chalakian has his head up too. And Moody Najjar could be potentially in before it curves back in favour of Daniel McHugh, who is having a busy old afternoon at right back. And we could be set for a frantic finish. Only 5 minutes of regulation time. We should have a decent amount of stoppages. As Yurashevsky, job isn't quite done yet by Blacktown City. The ball was played out. That'll be an Ilinden corner. And now we get a rare moment to breathe. McStay, his second corner from this position. He's had a fair few set pieces already, Chris McStay. Other than the one that sailed overall, the delivery has been good. And again, they crowd two numbers around Caden Henderson. Here goes McStay. Again, it's towards that sort of position. He has to punch. Malia, recognizing that all were back and holds up play momentarily. Kresnut goes down, but goes down too easily. Chalakian, still at the feet of Najjar. McStay, Chalakian, reverse pass is disguised. And McStay had drifted offside. Henderson. Major has won the flick on. Yej tries to go over the back of McStay. Cries of handball are waved away. McStay's arm was close enough to his body as Major looking to force his way through. Catches Nikolovsky. Play stays with Rockdale. There's challenges starting to fly in as Haywood and Chalakian battle just in front of us. Chalakian's able to get away from him, and now the foul is won. It's been a game that's, up till this point, been played in good physical spirits. And I think the halftime break could be beneficial for both teams as tensions are starting to heat up. Nikolovsky. Dunzo. Switch of play. Elliott has found himself in this sort of position, making that inverted run, tucking in, and allowing Constable to stay wide as Elliott has got the other side of his man. Najjar is there. And it was off the back of McHugh, so another corner is coming Rockdale Illinden's way. And a couple minutes of regulation time remaining. We should have at least 2 or 3 of stoppage time, owing to Jack O'Brien going down a couple of times before being substituted. McStay. Puts it in, that's a good ball, and it's punched. It bounces up as Elliott was looking to wind up from the top of the box. McStay. Can't clear it past Major as it's fallen to the feet of Hayward. Has Mitch Malia out on that far side, and he's put it into a perfect position for Malia, who can go one-on-one with Elliott. Hayward and Choi slowly arriving. And Malia holds things up as now Major is free in midfield if he can find him. He does. Major has Choi wide. He can make something happen. Danny Choi stands it up for Kresnar at the back post, who had 2 hands in the back of Braden Sorge as he looked to climb. As that one comes to an end. But this has been much better from Blacktown City. The counter-attack is starting to pose a legitimate threat, which it wasn't really doing through the first 25 minutes. But they've started to find avenues forward, and mostly when they get that crossfield switch to land is when they look to get things going. So as predicted, 2 minutes of time added on as Choi has won it in a good position. Lynch brings it to ground before Yej pops it back up, only to the benefit of Alec Yurashevsky, who has pace to get around Lynch, but then is stopped by Nick O'Brien. Dunzo. Elliott. Well, Constable Elliott was making the overlapping run. McStay is on the edge of the area. He tries, but couldn't get it past Campbell. McHugh and Najjar are tangled up in a battle for this one before Campbell comes to clean it up. Paul D playing ball boy and flicks it back towards his left back. And now Alec Yurashevsky will come across for the long throw. We saw him take one just a moment ago and he fizzed it in. Here he goes, Yurashevsky. Floated up, Najjar is the target, cleared away. Major does so with a second attempt. Fallen to the feet of McStay. His turn. Nikolovsky is there, he goes down, and then Yurashevsky at the back post to tap it in. He knows where to be, at the right place at the right time. And he celebrates in front of the Ilinden fans. And the pressure finally pays off for Rockdale Ilinden. They've been threatening a goal in this first half. And Alec Yurashevsky brings up goal number 22 in all competitions, as he continues to hunt down the all-time record. Goal number 21 of the season in game 22. That's a big goal for Rockdale in the context of the title race. It puts them back at the top of the table. But it's down to a delightful pass from Chris McStay. If it wasn't for Nikolovsky missing, he probably would have had a good look at it as well. And then Alec Yurashevsky. A true striker's finish at the back post. And that's a crushing blow for Blacktown City on the stroke of halftime after they've been defending so bravely and been starting to threaten on the counter-attack themselves. And they have to worry about a potential second. Najjar thought he held up his run, And much of the frustration of the Ilinden bench, he's going to be flagged for offside. And that brings the half to a close. An entertaining first half here at Landon Stadium. Alec Yurashevsky's 21st goal of the NPL season has the league leaders back atop the table. Still plenty of work to do for both, and Blacktown City were just minutes away from going in at 0-0 and potentially resetting at the break. No doubt plenty for both benches to discuss in the shed. So we'll leave you for the halftime break. We've got the juniors out on the pitch. I've been Will Constantinides with you. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this short break.
drawing the ninth prize. These are the runner-up prizes. And ninth goes to Natasha Parrott from Grace Saints. So Natasha, congratulations. You're our ninth prize winner. Eighth prize goes to Julie Kelly. So congratulations, Julie. If we can just give it a bit of a ruffle around and mix them up. And the seventh prize goes to Janelle Swan. So seventh to Janelle. Congratulations, Janelle. We'll have your details on there. So if you're not here today, we'll get in touch with you. And sixth is Brendan Williams. I know Brendan, boys play here. So Brendan, sixth spot. And fifth, we get a Steve Sophie. Steve, you've got yourself a gift pack as well. Congratulations. You can come down. If not, we'll be in touch. And the final runner-up prize goes to Leo Christophos. I know him through futsal. So Leo, you are one of the prize winners today, so congratulations. Now we're drawing for the third prize, a big mix, girls. This is for the mountain bike. No one claims that Luke Rudenberg will, because he likes riding. So this is for the mountain bike. And we believe it's Steve Sophie. So Steve is also winning himself mountain bike as well as a gift pack from Johnny Atala. That's for young Nate there. You can collect that. And second spot, runner up. This is Nelson Bay weekend away. Joanna Zara. So Joanna, congratulations. You have the weekend away to Nelson Bay. And this is for the main prize, the 5-night Queensland getaway. And the top prize, the 5-night Queensland getaway, goes to Hassan Hariri from Percival Grove. So Hassan, you're off to North Queensland for 5-night getaway. Once again, a big thank you to our under 14s girls today for turning up, being the number one team, raising over $3,500 for Nathaniel and Ellie. Congratulations to you for raising over $700 and most and foremost to all our fans who have raised over $25,000. Much needed funds that goes directly to the club. So a big thank you, congratulations to all the winners.
There is no sun for Blacktown City to have to contend with like Rockdale did in the first half. Alec Yurashevsky's 21st NPL goal of the season is the difference between the two teams at the break, and it has Rockdale Ilinden still on the top of the table on the live ladder. Slip up, and Marconi keeping their current score against Sydney United. We'll see them drop back into second. Importantly, that result also keeps Sydney Olympic in the fight for the top 6. If that result holds, Olympic will only be 1 point behind Sydney United 58, and Blacktown City will have half an eye on that. Finals is more or less a certainty for them. We're still waiting for the referees. Both sets of players sharing a bit of a joke about that, but for Blacktown City, they did show that they can be a threat and that they can get forward. It was just, unfortunately, that they copped one right before the break, and no surprise who it came through. Alec Yurashevsky. And Chris McStay will pick up the assist. The lights are starting to turn on here at Landon Stadium. The sun's starting to set. And both players are confusingly looking towards each other, wondering where everyone is. The fourth official is now making his way out. It's been a quirky old afternoon here at Landon Stadium. We've had plenty of bits and pieces happening. As you would expect, these two teams playing a very fiery game. And Paul D and Mark Crichton are just sharing a bit of a laugh about whether they wanted to go into the referees room and check where they are, and they said that they should go together so that either one doesn't get in trouble. And now the referees are back out, and we can get this game back underway. What a great game it's been so far. Still plenty to play for, and whilst Blacktown City are behind on the scoreboard, Rockdale will no doubt be wary of the threat they pose. So now we're back out, ready to go. Blacktown City unchanged. Mitch Malia, Danny Choi and Travis Major, the front three that'll be tasked with getting their team back into it after Jack O'Brien was taken off. And he lasted 10 minutes after that head knock from a Nick Saurus clearance, which inadvertently hit him on the head. As Major is forced to do a bit of hold-up work and play around the corner for Yej. Constable. Intercepted by Kresnar. Dunzo gets a foot back in towards Chalakian, who knew Yurashevsky was making the run. And it looks like Blacktown City may have potentially switched to a back four. We'll keep an eye on that as Yurashevsky having to do a bit of hold-up work here. And now Yurashevsky will launch this throw in as he did earlier in the half. Earlier in the game, should I say, he had two long throws. This one is third, and it's right on Henderson, who reaches up into the sky and plucks that one out. Choi. McStay with a good win there. And it looks like Blacktown City are still in this back five shape, but with Nick O'Brien maybe taking a little bit more of a step forward at times out. We've seen them do that a lot throughout the season, use Nick O'Brien as an extra number. As now McStay has found space between the lines and is looking for Yurashevsky, and he might still get onto it here. Yurashevsky has rounded Henderson, and it flicks away from goal. A golden opportunity there for Alec Yurashevsky after Blacktown City got it wrong at the back. And now Lynch has to go backwards. This Ilinden press has been very efficient at winning the ball back, and just taking a look at the replay, I think Yurashevsky was trying to touch it clear of Henderson and then get the shot away, but the touch was a little too heavy and it rolled out. It's been a hard afternoon for Travis Major and the Blacktown City front three. They've had to feed off scraps. Had a couple of looks at goal towards the back end of the second half, but nothing particularly significant that they'll feel like was a wasted opportunity. Good creativity from Constable to win the ball as Kresnar goes down the line for Choi. Before Kresnar clears, and he was clipped up late. McHugh into O'Brien. This is good from Blacktown as they found a bit of space. Major, that's a delightful pass into the feet of Mitch Malia. Can go one-on-one, and Malia finishes. And it's down to Travis Major with one of the assists of the season. A volley backheel pass to flick it around the corner for Mitch Malia. And Mitch Malia adds another goal to his campaign. What a season he is having, but that assist from Travis Major will be replayed for some time. And it was matched by the composure from Mitch Malia, and Blacktown City have opened up the game again. And Marconi will be loving that goal from Mitch Malia as well. He's a former Marconi man, Mitch Malia, so hopefully still a bit of love for him at his former club where he had 2 stints with. And now things will really start to heat up from here, you'd think. It was already a tense affair, but it might just click into another gear. The score back on level terms. Goal number 12 of the season for Mitch Malia, Blacktown's leading scorer. And now McStay, this time an out-swinging delivery. He's had a few from the opposite side. Here he goes into the 6-yard area. Sorge was crashing in. Now Speranza tries to bring down the volley. Here is Constable, but was never going to trouble Henderson. Now we'll see how this game turns on that early goal from Mitch Malia. Goals either side of the break for these two teams. Just getting a little loud out there now between these two teams. Both feeling this is a tense fixture. A good contest between two sides in the top 5 right now. As Yesh is good in the air, feeling that there was an arm left hanging there by Chris McStay, but referee Eric Saba has let the players be physical, hasn't disrupted the flow of the game at all, which has been good. It's allowed the teams to play football. Speranza, his turn to get forward. Yurashevsky on the edge. It might fall kindly here for Speranza, who goes down, and that one's waved away also. Again, there was contact. It's a question of to what degree. And there was a similar one for Mitch Malia in the first half as well, where there was certainly contact, and as Speranza was then, Malia was also told to get back on his feet by our referee, and Choi does well to keep that in. That's a great technical touch by Danny Choi. Here he is now, Choi. Able to beat his man. Chalakian. Constable. Great turn by Chalakian to get past Hayward, and now he can look up and look for Yurashevsky, who went down. And that door slammed shut on his run behind the defence. And Lynch. O'Brien. Pass is picked off by Dunzo. There was no one really close to him. Uncharacteristic mistake at the back by Campbell, whose distribution is usually on point. Constable has drifted in off the wing to join midfield here. Chalakian looking to create in space. Yurashevsky is offside as he was looking for McStay to tap it in at the back stick. As we take a look still, it's 1-0 between Marconi and Sydney United. So as it stands, Marconi would go top of the table again after Rockdale have briefly overtaken them, and now there's more chatter out there about a couple of Rockdale players who are down. Chalakian is potentially going to need to receive some treatment here. And Campbell and O'Brien are pleading with the referee that play needs to restart, and now Campbell is going to be warned here. Good pinch in midfield by Lynch, and now Major just has to get it out of his feet and look up, but Elliott is right there hounding him, and now he goes down as players going everywhere. Meanwhile, Yezha Chalakian briefly got tangled up, and it's starting to have that same level of physicality we had earlier in the first half. McStay has done so, and Chalakian has his hand and is screaming for the ball, knowing he has room to work with. Has Constable ahead of him. Instead he goes for the ball towards the back post before Campbell gets that out of trouble. Only as far as Isaac Dunzo, though, who is doing what he does best, which is stopping opposing team counter-attacks. Constable. Chalakian has checked back, but he was offside. And you can see what he tried to do there, Chalakian. He faked his run forward and then checked back, but they just couldn't quite get the timing right there. Major. Left it behind for Kresnar. McHugh is the free man on the far side. Has Najjar tracking back to stop his progress though. McStay. Speranza. Chalakian. McStay looking for that pass behind, but again, Blacktown do well to just sit back and force Ilinden to make those sorts of passes, force the risky ball forward. And again, Alec Yurashevsky's press has been relentless. His goal scoring takes all the headlines, but he's just as good at pressing the ball and winning it in a good position. Now he looks for that long throw to Chalakian, but it's only onto the head of Lynch before Choi sends that up. McStay. A good win forward by Hayward. Najjar. Flag has stayed down for him as he's held up by Campbell. And then again, Blacktown clear their lines, and this is a familiar pattern of play to what we saw in the first half with Blacktown defending and Ilinden continuing to keep the ball. Elliott links up with Constable again. Those two have tried these combinations, but that time Kresnar is wiser to it. And it was just too far away from Choi. McStay. Sent out by Kresnar. A good touch by Choi to take it away from the path of Chalakian, but they'll have to be careful they don't lose it in this position here. And they'll take that throw, give them a chance to march some numbers further up the pitch. Constable. A brief moment of space for him. Now he looks up. Elliott has made that inverted run again, and McStay has Speranza overlapping him. Hayward, it was awkward and he didn't catch any of it. And there is going to be a handball here. And Campbell's arms were outstretched. It was spotted by both referee and assistant. And now this is prime real estate for a free kick. And there is one man standing over this. Well, actually two. McStay and Yurashevsky are both there together. Yurashevsky with the left, McStay with the right. 4 in the wall for Henderson. They need to get this just right. Blacktown City defensively with Yurashevsky and McStay 20 yards out from goal. Yurashevsky goes, looking to go through the wall, and then it falls again to Constable. There was a slight suggestion of handball, but there weren't any significant calls as Choi has skipped away and can look for Mitch Malia again. That's a good ball over the top, but Sorge tracked back just enough to clear it away from him. And shades of that crossfield switch from Danny Choi earlier in the first half. And now Blacktown City have to worry about defending before Henderson with a no-nonsense clearance into the grandstand on the far side. .20 minutes to go out at Marconi Stadium. It's still the Stallions that lead, a goal to nil. Major tries to track back and take it away from Constable, but strong play in there by the Ilinden winger. Chalakian. Speranza had to stretch, as did Najjar. McStay. Last touch off Najjar. Or was it? Last touch off McHugh. And now there's a bit of reluctance from Blacktown to give this back. They felt it should have been their ball. As the lights now fully on around the ground. Yuroshevsky's long throw is intended for Najjar. It's allowed to bounce. Oh, great save by Henderson. Dunzo was there. And his headed effort was saved. And there was a foul somewhere in the mix with bodies flying, looking to get onto the end of the ball. And now Kresnar has a brief moment of space with Rockdale having committed numbers to the attack. And they're able to get back quickly in transition before Choi is the man they look for. McStay. Only as far as Nick O'Brien. Thought about going backwards, but Yuroshevsky has forced him forwards and has forced him into the midfield, where he finds a bit of safety in Maxim Yej. Lynch. Major. Great pass to Kresnar, who can overlap. It's a rare time we've seen that from him. And his cross only found Nikolovsky. And a great touch by the veteran Lynch. Choi. That one's off the back of Elliott. Kresnar. Blacktown's turn for a long throw. Major's the intended target. McStay comes down with it though, and Najjar is looking to get the other side of McHugh, but Campbell is there to mop it up, and now he goes through a run through midfield, beats a couple of defenders. Pass was intercepted, and now Blacktown might be exposed at the back with one of their centre-back trio having been committed. Chalakian. Out it goes to Najjar. Yuroshevsky in the box. Dunzo also arriving. Najjar. Good stand-up defending by young Daniel McHugh there. Went to ground and took the sting out of that cross, which allowed Henderson to do some easy goalkeeping work and pick that one up unchallenged. O'Brien. Again, it's that crossfield switch to Malia they look for as he brings it down to feet. Malia standing up Speranza. Back post, Major leaves it for Yej. Only side netting, but another good opportunity on the counter-attack. And good awareness from Travis Major, it must be said. He could have had a claim to that header as well, but recognising that Yej was in a better position on the volley, even if it was a tighter angle. And only found the side netting, but again, it's that crossfield switch to Mitch Malia, which is creating so much problems for the Ilinden defence as Chalakian has a pop from distance. And Henderson had to be alive to it, and he tips it over the bar. Sensing that this is a critical juncture in this game with both sides finding some pressure. Another corner coming Illinden's way. They've had plenty of opportunities from set pieces so far. So now the subs go for a warm-up, including Jerry Skatardis. All eyes will be on the potential Ilinden debutant. McStay. Again, it's numbers around that near post area. It goes all the way out to where Sorge was. Henderson had to punch under heavy pressure. And Constable looking to flick that over his shoulder to Yuroshevsky. Put a bit too much on it. And so Blacktown divert that attack. McStay has turned it over. We haven't seen him turn it over too many times, and Yej, for a brief moment, had Malia and Choi racing away, had it not been for the vital intervention of Isaac Dunzo. McStay. Speranza and Dunzo. Plenty of numbers getting forward for Ilinden. They've got Blacktown City pinned back for the time being. We've seen this pattern emerge multiple times in this game. Constable can't get past Kresnar. And Paul D is telling his side that they need to be quicker moving the ball, recognising that they've started to drop the pace a little bit, which is what this Blacktown City defence want. They want Ilinden to commit numbers forward. They want them to slow the ball down because that makes it easier to defend. And when they commit numbers forward, that's when the counter-attack becomes even more dangerous, as Kresnar, with a searching ball, will ask Malia to chase, but Nikolovsky hooks that back from the direction it came. As here is McStay. McHugh. Him and Speranza are in a clash for it, and McHugh has gone down here, and this is going to require swift medical attention. Potential head knock, and now Nikolovsky and Hayward are getting embroiled in it. And now Nikolovsky and O'Brien are getting into it. And now all players are getting into it, and it's just needless from both. There was nothing untoward and malicious about the challenge between McHugh and Speranza going for the ball. They both were trying to challenge for it, and it was just bouncing up unkindly. As McHugh bent down to try and get his head onto the ball. Speranza was there first, and that's seen McHugh come off potentially a little rough after all of it. So we'll see what Blacktown City do. They've already made the one change, of course, with Danny Choi replacing Jack O'Brien. Looks like he's back on his feet, which is good news. And now, not for the first time today, the medical staff have to worry about a potential head knock. So it looks like that he might go with the substitution here and take no chances. And young Daniel McHugh in his second start has his afternoon cut short. He's going to be replaced by the birthday boy, Marty Fernandez. And that's an attacking-minded change, bringing on a midfielder for a defender. Marty Fernandez turning 25 today. July 6th, his birthday. Wouldn't he love to pop up with a goal in today's game? So that's prompted a bit of a reshuffle. Travis Major has gone from striker to centre-back. Not the first time we've seen that this season. It happened last week as well when McHugh came off. And so Marty Fernandez joins the attack. Lynch. Kresnar. Choi has found Yej. This is good play in midfield before Dunzo again says that's enough of that and puts that play to a halt. Into the final 20 minutes here at Landon Stadium. The game continues to hang in the balance after Mitch Malia's goal straight out of the halftime break. Henderson goes for height on the clearance. Malia gets told to back away from it by Nick O'Brien. Him and Major exchange passes before O'Brien turns in midfield. Constable can choose to go one-on-one with Lynch if he wants. Stands up play momentarily and uses Elliott, and I think that pass might have been intended for Chalakian, but Elliott was racing through the same channel. And so a change could be coming Illinden's way as well for the first time tonight. Ollie Pufflet being prepared, an attacking-minded change as Kresnar has gotten the other side of Elliott here as Fernandez alongside him. Instead he holds it up as it's off the shins of Sorge. And it'll be an attacking corner for Blacktown City to try and work something from. Malia to take, already has his name on the score sheet. And they're on the edge of the area, they're going to make their move now. Malia, a good ball in, flicked back towards Travis Major. And he was lighting up for something special. But he couldn't get his head over it, it flies over the bar. And now that change will go through for Rockdale Ilinden. Ollie Pufflet will enter the fray. Question to be who he comes on for. It's going to be Constable, so a like-for-like swap there. It's been a hard afternoon for Lockie Constable. And Pufflet comes on with fresh legs to try and make something happen. Blacktown City are starting to cause problems. Travis Major would have loved to have caught that one a little better. It fell to him with time and space. And it sat for him at a good height as well. McStay. Ball is played forward. Knocked down by Nick O'Brien, only onto the feet of Moody Najjar, who twisted turns on the edge of the area. It's forward here for Alec Yurashevsky. The flag has stayed out, and Yurashevsky has Ilinden back in front. And more importantly, has them back atop the table. Goal number 22 of the campaign in the league. As Najjar twisted, turned on the edge, it deflected off Major into the feet of Alec Yurashevsky. A question of offside, but the flag was down. And Ilinden are back in front for the second time tonight. He continues to just consistently find the back of the net as he chases down the all-time New South Wales League scoring record set by Herbert Ninhaus. A record that has stood for 60 years and continues to be in real danger of being broken off the back of the continuous goal-scoring efforts of Alec Yurashevsky. And now Blacktown City have it all to do with 15 minutes to go. Chalakian. Another goal here for Ilinden would surely be the killer blow as Chalakian is fouled, and that's going to be good news for Ilinden. They can slow things down and keep the defense pinned back. And that goal from Alec Yurashevsky would have not been well received over at Marconi. For a second they thought they would have been back on top. Only 5 minutes to go there. They still lead by a goal to nil. Choi drifts inside, beats a couple of defenders, but looking for that forward pass now, which is found to Marty Fernandez. Chalakian has found Yurashevsky here. It's only him and Campbell to go. And touch was a little heavy from Yurashevsky, which was dealt with by Campbell, but only into a corner. So McStay will be in no hurry to take this one, you'd think. McStay. A third for Rockdale would surely seal all 3 points, you'd think. McStay. Floated ball in towards Nikolowski. A good save by Henderson. A quick reaction stop at close range, but Nikolowski climbing over the back post. Was on target and was close to Henderson, but he had a bit to do there from close range. Didn't have much time to react to it at all. Now another corner is coming Ilinden's way. McStay. What can Ilinden get from this corner? In comes the delivery. It's towards the penalty spot. They got Moody Najjar there, but it didn't look convincing from the moment it left his head. And so we're just over 10 minutes plus extras to go. Blacktown City are trailing on the ball now with Choi and Yej. They're forced backwards by this Ilinden press, which has been good. They found a way out momentarily through Hayward, and now Nick O'Brien. It's asking a lot of Seb Hayward to chase, as Nikolowski will try and let that run out of play, and eventually does so. And good hold-up defending there by the centre-back. These results are going to be welcome for Sydney Olympic down in 7th. They'll only be 7 points behind Blacktown City if this result holds, only 1 behind Sydney United. Lynch does well to let that roll out of play and keep his body out of it to avoid potential corner. Switch finds Choi and Yej. He makes a run, as does Kresnar ahead of him. Choi, delightful touch inside. Still Danny Choi, the step overs. Can he get the shot away? It was just a bit too much from Danny Choi. And went in strong. On Moody Najjar, who was tracking back there to try and help out defensively. Puthlet, suggestion of a handball, but it wasn't convincing as Chalakian was looking for that quick pass forward to Najjar. Najjar had checked back in instead of continuing his run over, sensing that perhaps he was about to be offside. Kresnar. Major. Choi. Goes back to Saurus, who has to clear. O'Brien. Chesting it down for Hayward. Blacktown starting to pile on a bit of pressure here. Great crossfield switch is intended for Choi, but Pufflet intercepts and Hunter Elliott can go forward, and now he could think about bursting forward. Chalakian. Yurashevsky has checked back. Good play between Chalakian and Najjar. Still going is Moody Najjar, looking for the cutback. Elliott was there. He had gotten forward from right back, and now, as Ilinden have committed numbers, if Blacktown want to go quickly, they can. Major tries to turn past Nikolowski, who had too much strength for that. Dunzo gets between man and ball and has found a handy pass forward. Here is Chalakian again, looking centrally for Ollie Pufflet, going to ground. It's still there, and Alec Yurashevsky was looking to feed off the scraps. Sorge, a good win in the air. Up goes McStay. Major went underneath him and was getting to that too late. So Marconi have added a second goal. Update coming from around the grounds there. That one very close to full time. So Marconi have done their job. Just waiting for a potential goal from Blacktown City, which Blacktown will be hoping for as well. They haven't been far away, and as the game goes on, there might be a tendency for Rockdale to sit back in their shell a little bit and try and defend this one-goal lead. And meanwhile, there's some movement on the bench down below us. We'll get to that in just a moment. Mark Crittenden looking to try and move the magnets, make a change that'll impact this game. Yej is trying to win it there with Marty Fernandez. Instead, it's Ilinden who have it. Yurashevsky looking for the dagger, looking for Pufflet as well, and it just bounced away from his outstretched right boot. Malia, great touch forward, and no question, that is certainly a foul from Hunter Elliott. Good quick little body feint by Mitch Marley to draw Elliott in, and then the touch around the corner to match. It looks like Ruben Awaratifi is going to be the man to enter. Awaratifi, a mid-season signing from the Sutherland Sharks, where he went in search of more game time, but wasn't quite working for both player and club, and so he returns to a familiar club, Blacktown City. Looks like Jerry Skatardis, another former Sutherland Shark mid-season signing, is being prepared as well. So Ruben Awaratifi will be coming on in place of Jacob Kresner. So defender off, attacker on, and Blacktown City looks set to go to a back four with Lynch sliding across to become left back. Meanwhile, Jerry Skatardis is being readied as Yurashevsky has a shot from distance. Despite that, it'll be a foul and a free kick. Choi, darting ball in. Soros is up through the crowd, and that's good keeping and good hands to show command of his area. Ball is put in. Up goes Soros again with Campbell arriving late, and the Rockdale players have taken exception to that. And now things are starting to boil over potentially, as Jerry Skatardis is still waiting in the wings to enter. And now that substitution will go through. So Chris McStay off, Jerry Skatardis on, a like-for-like swap in midfield. And so Jerry Skatardis gets his first appearance of the season for Rockdale Ilinden, coming across from the Sutherland Sharks, and he finds himself thrown into a high-pressure situation, with this game having big consequences for the premiership race. Skatardis, formerly of Western United and MacArthur FC, had his second stint with the Sutherland Sharks this season. Club he played for before he was picked up by Western United and made his A-League debut. Now coming across to Rockdale Ilinden adds more depth into this midfield. It's certainly an envious position to bring on a player like Jerry Skatardis. 2.5 minutes of regulation time to go. Blacktown are still searching for this equaliser. Major. Campbell. O'Brien. Yesh has made his move and was picked up there by Dunzo, and Dunzo is on a yellow card. That's important to note. They picked up that card earlier in the first half, and now this is a golden opportunity, you'd think, for Blacktown City. A chance to pile numbers forward. Matt Karamaleski, meanwhile, is about to be subbed on. A tall central defender, perfect for these sorts of moments. Paul D anticipating an aerial barrage coming his side's way. Meanwhile, Maxim Yesh is standing over this free kick. Yesh, floated ball in. It's there to Marty Fernandez. Would have loved to have scored on his birthday. And now Moody Najar can think about racing away. Skatardis is right there with him. Pufflet is joining as well. Najar left behind Skatardis. Urashevsky can think about winding up. Instead goes left to Skatardis. Skatardis, and there's the icing on the cake. It's going to be all 3 points heading back to Rockdale Ilinden, and it's the super sub Ollie Pufflet. A deadly counter-attack, which will seal Rockdale Illinden's place at the top for another week. In the 90th minute, the subs combined with Skatardis getting forward. And he cut it back for Ollie Pufflet, who obliged with a close range finish to make it 3-1 to Ilinden. And that'll be 3 points in the bag now, you'd think. And he's done his job off the bench, Ollie Pufflet. Recognised they had space and recognised that Blacktown were compromised at the back. And it's a huge result for Rockdale Ilinden as the fourth officials board goes up. We're going to have 5 minutes of time added on. Might be enough time potentially for two, but it's going to create a miracle comeback for Blacktown City if they do complete it. Choi searching for a Waratifi, and he couldn't bring it down to feet. It's going to be an Ilinden goal kick, and that'll give them time to bring on Matt Karamaleski. The no-nonsense central defender is going to be thrown on here. There's about 4.5 minutes to go. It's a question of which player is about to come off. It's going to be Brendan Chalakian, who gets a strong applause from the travelling contingent. And rightly so, he has worked tirelessly in midfield as he does every week. And he takes the applause and takes the early mark given to him by Paul D. And so a number 10 off, a towering central defender on. And all Rockdale have to do is just keep it tidy for the next few minutes. And they'll spend another week at the top of the table. Fernandez couldn't beat Nikolovsky in the air, but it's staying with Blacktown for a little bit before it's sent back towards Henderson. Has to retrieve it inside his own area. Here is Lynch. Choi has his head up. Searching ball, only finds Karamaleski. His clearance is back out to Yej, who chips the ball in, and saw that all the way. Able to take that out of the sky. And not long left now for Rockdale Ilinden. They've recovered well since going down. 2 goals to Alec Urashevsky, another to Ollie Pufflet on the 90th minute. Now the Ilinden fans really enjoying their Sunday afternoon here at Landon Stadium. Their team's playing some good stuff. They're back on top of the table. They've travelled some way from Rockdale. Not a short drive by any means, as it's hung up. Soros comes down. Oratifi unable to beat the keeper in the air. Malia has his eyes up. Awaratifi is going to give chase here. And Soros again has had a solid game in goal. Has been asked to do a lot of work, especially in the air. Henderson, his opposite number, has been kept just as busy. And despite the fact they've conceded 3 goals, he's had to pull off some fantastic saves despite that. Meanwhile, Fernandez is in the area looking to add a potential second to make things interesting down the stretch. But that one was straight into the arms of Soros. Hayward. Now at the discretion of our referees as to how long is left. Taking a look at who these teams play next week. Rockdale have a huge game against RPL ICAR. That one the Sunday 3 p.m. Meanwhile, Blacktown City travel north to take on Manly in the Friday kickoff. That Rockdale and RPL game promises to be one filled with fireworks between 2 high-powered attacking sides. Awaratifi has won it cleanly. And now Choi can get forward. Blacktown are looking for a potential lifeline here as Choi clips that up, but it's overall, including the crossbar, as Major lets out a frustrated clearance. And Nick Soros will be in no hurry to get things going, sensing that his side have just about done their job here this afternoon. Flicked on by Major. Waratifi is giving chase, but Ilinden have kept things tight at the back, and they might think about a potential 4th here as Henderson has rushed out. He's done that a few times this afternoon and has done it well. But they've just sustained too much pressure, Blacktown City, and it's 3 points again for Rockdale Ilinden. Another week in top spot as their battle with Marconi at the top of the table continues. They're ahead on goal difference, and a couple of goals going their way tonight will certainly help in that respect. Meanwhile, for Blacktown City, it was just a case of sustaining too much pressure before the defence ultimately broke. They had a couple of opportunities on the counter-attack, but in the end, Ilinden walk out deserved winners here at Landon Stadium this afternoon. Fantastic result between 2 high-quality sides. And they could well meet again in the finals. Will Constantinidis been here with you up in the gantry. We'll see you back next weekend for more NPL New South Wales action.